Every day, the energy of the sun warms our planet and the atmosphere. The air warms quicker over land, and it expands and moves to cooler areas like the sea, and this is what causes wind. Even though air is thin, there is a lot of it, and millions of tons of moving air carries a lot of energy. The question is, could we capture it? We don't know who invented the first windmill. Perhaps someone saw a seed spin and fly in the wind, and wondered what made it turn, and used that idea. We do know that windmills were being used at least 1,000 years ago to grind corn or lift water to irrigate fields. People have continued to develop and improve the idea of a windmill. Today, a windmill or wind turbine can create electricity. A whole wind farm can generate enough electric power for a whole city. Why do you think the wind is a useful source of energy? So, your challenge today is to make your own windmill and make it do some work. For this activity, you will need some thin sticks or skewers, some old plastic bottles or cardboard, some tape or glue, and some straws or other tubes your sticks can go through. You will need some scissors to cut the blades of your windmill. To make your windmill do some work, you will also need some thin wire that you can bend easily and some string or cotton. You will also need some wind, but you can make your own with a big sheet of cardboard. To find out how fast your windmill turns, you will also need a stopwatch. A clock app on a phone would do. To make your windmill, you will need to make a tower to hold everything up. Use a stick or skewer as an axle or shaft. This needs to spin very easily. The hub or rotor connects the axle to the windmill's blades. You might have 3, 4 or even more blades on your design. The shape and angle of your blades is important. They will need to catch and turn the wind. When the wind pushes a blade at an angle, it produces a sideways force. If the blade is connected to an axle, it will act like a lever and make the windmill and the axle turn. To make your windmill do some work, you will need to add a simple mechanism. One thing you could add is a crank. A crank will turn rotational movement into an up and down or sideways movement. Add a crank to your windmill. See if you can make it lift a small object up and down. In the real world, this could be a hammer. Other things you could add to your windmill to do work are cams and pulleys. Now that you've seen all the ideas, it's time to plan your design and make it. Keep notes of all your ideas and what you have learned in your notebook. So, once you have made your working windmill, it will be time to test it. You'll need to count how many times your windmill can turn in 1 minute. One full turn around of the blades is called a revolution. The measurement of rotational speed is called revolutions per minute, or RPM for short. You could count how many times the crank moves an object up and down in 1 minute to work this out. Remember, if there is no wind outside, you can still use a large piece of cardboard to make your windmill move. Keep a note of the highest RPM your windmill can achieve. So there you are. Good luck!